Hi, this is Robert from Max Guitar. I have something very special to show you. Everybody knows the guitarist Peter Frampton. Of course, Peter Frampton Comes Alive, his live album. He used to be in Humble Pie. He got this guitar, or at least the original guitar, which is a 1954 Les Paul Custom. In 1970, somebody gave it to him and he played it, and everybody knows, and it was sort of his signature guitar before there was even a signature guitar anywhere. So he was always playing this guitar. On one occasion when Peter Frampton was touring with his band in South America, they flew from Venezuela to Panama. They flew ahead with the crew, and in a next cargo plane all the instruments and gear followed. Only this airplane was lost and it crashed on takeoff, more or less. So they assumed rightfully that all the gear was lost, and they never heard from their instruments again. Only to find out 30 years later, he got an email, Peter Frampton got an email, said that somebody had found his guitar. And they had some very rough shots of it, and it was very badly damaged. And he couldn't believe his eyes, because he actually hadn't seen that guitar for 30 years, and of course he thought it was lost. It was very heavily damaged and burned. And of course he tried to get it back, and eventually he did get it back, and he had it restored by Gibson. This is not the actual guitar, but Gibson decided recently to reissue this guitar and it's actually copied down to a T. So it's a really accurate replica, and they call it the Phoenix. Only 35 were made. This is number 25. As you can see here, it is signed on the headstock by Peter Frampton, and it has all the damage that was sustained during the accident. Of course, it was restored, but this guitar is one of the best Les Paul Customs we have ever had. The special thing about this guitar is not only does it look the part, of course it's an exact replica, but it sounds amazing. I couldn't have believed when I unpacked it. Of course it's not a cheap guitar, but it's worth every cent. For a collector, this is really the holy grail. It's very lightweight, it's under 4 kilos, which is very rare for a Les Paul Custom. And it plays amazingly. So it has a sustain for days, and it's very resonant. So if you're a collector and if you want a serious piece, this is one serious piece. So I would dare you or ask you to stop by and test it out, because it's one of the best guitars I've ever had my hands on. And it's of course signed by Peter Frampton, so that's a bonus. Thank you.